Dexter creator calls out Showtime over mishandling of spinoff Cancellation. They promised us a universe, and then they killed it before it could even begin. I still can't believe it. Imagine being told you've got the golden ticket, your dream show renewed, the cast celebrating, the writers already outlining the future, only to wake up the next morning and find out the entire thing has been yanked out from under you. That's not just heartbreaking, that's betrayal. And that's exactly what just happened to the Dexter franchise. Now, here's where it gets messy, because this isn't just about one show getting cancelled, it's about Showtime, Paramount, and Clyde Phillips, the man who gave us some of Dexter's best seasons, clashing over control of the franchise's future. It's about a broken promise, an entire expanded universe we were never supposed to know about, and a reveal so wild that you'll question if Showtime even knows what it's doing with its most iconic series. So let me throw this back at you. Why would Showtime greenlight Dexter, Original Sin Season 2, announce it publicly, only to cancel it weeks later? Doesn't that sound suspiciously like there are politics at play here? Doesn't it sound like the franchise is being treated less like a legacy and more like a pawn in some corporate chess game? And here's the kicker. This isn't even speculation. Clyde Phillips himself came forward, frustrated, even furious, admitting that Showtime handled the cancellation terribly. He said he got a phone call, after the show was already renewed, that the renewal was now being reversed. Imagine the humiliation. You've told your actors, your writers, your crew, congrats, we're coming back, only to have to call them back later and say, actually no. That's not just a mishap. That's sabotage. But before I break down exactly what Forbidden Dexter Universe plans were scrapped, plans that would have connected Original Sin, Resurrection, and even the long-rumored Trinity Killer prequel, let me pause and ask you something. If you care about real behind-the-scenes stories, the kind that networks don't want you to hear, then you need to subscribe to Breakdown Epic right now. This is the one place where I, Sophia, will tell you not just the official headlines, but the secrets hiding between them. So hit that button, because trust me, you won't want to miss what comes next. Now back to the chaos Showtime has unleashed. Because here's the problem. Dexter Original Sin wasn't just a spin-off. It was the foundation. This series wasn't only supposed to explore young Dexter's years under Harry, learning the code, but it was going to set up a full-blown Dexter universe. Think of it like what Better Call Saul did for Breaking Bad, but darker, bloodier, and filled with the kind of origin stories fans have been dying to see. But now, cancelled. Not because it failed, not because it didn't have a future, but because Showtime and Paramount are slamming the brakes on expansion. Why? One-word merger. With Skydance and Paramount joining forces, Phillips' larger vision, multiple interconnected spin-offs, timelines weaving together, suddenly looks like a risky investment. Translation: the accountants killed Dexter's future, not the fans. Here's the secret Showtime doesn't want you to know. Original Sin and Resurrection weren't competing shows. They were designed to work together. Original Sin would have fleshed out Dexter's early psyche. Resurrection would carry forward the main timeline, and together they would have anchored a universe of spin-offs, including that Trinity Killer prequel Phillips confirmed he was set to run. Imagine a full anthology of killers, backstories, and continuations, all tied together. That was the plan. And now, thanks to corporate strategic restructuring, it may never happen. Doesn't that sting? Because think about it. Dexter New Blood was already divisive, but at least it gave Showtime the proof that fans were still hungry for more. Then along comes Original Sin, hyped up as the boldest prequel gamble since Bates Motel. And before season 1 even finished airing, it's renewed. That's how confident they were. And then just as fans started to breathe easy, just as the writers were plotting season 2, Showtime yanked the plug. Let me play devil's advocate here. Maybe they didn't cancel Original Sin for money reasons. Maybe, just maybe, it was because the storylines Phillips had planned were too risky, too revealing, too much of the forbidden knowledge about Dexter's past that Showtime didn't want to commit to. Could that be why they pulled the plug? And here's where it gets personal. I remember watching Dexter season 4 when it first aired, back when the Trinity arc blew our minds and gave us some of television's darkest family drama. That season changed the game. Now imagine getting the chance to see Trinity's origin story, told with the same care and horror. That was on the table. That was Phillips' plan. And now it's gone. Showtime didn't just cancel a show, they canceled a promise they dangled in front of fans for years. But let me ask you, do you think Resurrection can really carry the franchise alone? Or is Showtime about to repeat the mistakes of Dexter New Blood by putting all their eggs in one bloody basket? Drop your take in the comments, because I want to know, are you relieved they're scaling back, or furious like me that we'll never see these spin-offs? Because when I say there's more to this story, I mean it. Clyde Phillips didn't just vent frustration, he confirmed that Showtime had a mapped-out universe. And if you listen carefully, there's a hint in his words that Resurrection itself might not be as safe as we think. So here's where things get even darker. Because while Showtime wants us to believe Dexter, Resurrection is the savior of the franchise, Clyde Phillips' comments reveal something chilling. The show's future is not guaranteed. Yes, it's been picked up, but not officially renewed. Which means, in corporate speak, it's sitting in limbo. And if you know anything about television history, limbo is where beloved shows go to quietly die. Think about it, Dexter. Resurrection was pitched as the way to fix the New Blood backlash to redeem Dexter Morgan's story. But now, with original sin buried 6 feet under, Resurrection is carrying all the weight. If it stumbles, even slightly, Showtime has an easy excuse to end the entire experiment. And if that happens, Dexter's universe doesn't just shrink, it collapses. And that's why Phillips' reaction matters so much. He wasn't just angry about original sin, he was warning us. He literally said it wasn't handled well, that he wasn't happy, and that the bigger vision was at risk. Translation: Showtime isn't playing the long game anymore, they're scrambling. And when networks scramble, shows get sacrificed. Here's the forbidden knowledge most people don't realize. Dexter's universe was supposed to mirror Marvel's model. Yeah, you heard me right. Phillips had multiple spin-offs in the works. The Trinity Killer prequel, a Miami Metro procedural spin-off digging into cases Dexter never solved, even whispers of a Harrison-centric offshoot set between New Blood and Resurrection. All of that was on the table. All of it was being drafted, and then gone, erased with one phone call. If that doesn't make you furious, check your pulse. Now let me throw a hypothetical at you. Imagine if Breaking Bad had been cut short before Better Call Saul. Imagine if The Walking Dead had been told, sorry, you get one sequel and that's it. That's what Showtime has just done to Dexter. They've told fans, you'll get Resurrection, but forget about the universe you were promised. Does that feel like respect? Or does it feel like betrayal? I'll be real with you. I laughed when I first read Phillips' statement, not because it was funny, but because it felt like déjà vu. Showtime already bungled Dexter's ending once. Then they botched New Blood by killing Dexter off and alienating half the fan base. And now, instead of making it right, they're canceling the very spin-off that could have rebuilt trust. At this point you almost wonder, are they trolling us? But here's where you come in. Because if the fandom is loud enough, if enough fans push back, Showtime will have to reconsider. Remember when Brooklyn Nine-Nine was cancelled and then resurrected within 24 hours? Stranger things have happened. So I want to know, would you fight to bring back original sin if given the chance? Or do you think Showtime should double down on Resurrection and forget the prequels? Drop your answer in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Now let's address the elephant in the room. Is Resurrection even safe? Think about the timing. Paramount merges with Skydance. Original Sin gets renewed, then suddenly cancelled. Resurrection gets picked up, but no official season 2 announcement. Doesn't it feel like Showtime is hedging their bets? Like they're testing whether fans will stick around before investing another dime? Let me roast myself for a second, because I've defended networks before. I've sat here and said, give them time, they know what they're doing. And then boom, a show gets axed, and I look like the clown. Maybe that's what's happening here again. Maybe I'm the fool for thinking Showtime would ever protect Dexter, after all the ways they've already mishandled it. But you know what? I'd rather be the fool than the silent fan, who pretends this isn't a disaster. Here's another callback for longtime Breakdown Epic viewers. Remember when we broke down how Dexter, New Blood's ending wasn't actually the final chapter, but a setup for Harrison's story? We called it months before Resurrection was announced. And now look where we are. We were right about the expansion. We were right about Phillips' long-term plan. And now we're right about the collapse. So, what's left? Resurrection maybe. Harrison maybe. But the dream of a Dexter cinematic universe, gone. Unless fans refuse to let it go. I'll end with this: Showtime may control the money, but they don't control the legacy. Dexter isn't just a show. It's a cultural obsession, a character study that still haunts people more than a decade later. And if they think they can quietly bury original sin without backlash, they're underestimating us. So, my final call to action: don't just watch Resurrection. Demand more. Flood forums, comments, socials. Make noise. Because if Clyde Phillips fought for this universe and got silenced, then it's up to us to keep the fight alive. And hey, if nothing else, at least we can laugh at how Showtime somehow managed to mess up Dexter 3 times in a row. Honestly, it's impressive. It's like they've got a code of their own. Don't let the fans be happy. I'm Sophia. This is Breakdown Epic. And I'll see you in the comments roasting Showtime together. Until next time, keep your knives sharp and your expectations low.